Hello and welcome to UH West Oahu. The following video is intended for students who are brand new to our learning management system called Laulima. Laulima is used both for face-to-face and online classes, so it will be helpful to understand how the system works and how to use it. To begin, you will need to log into the system. Start off by opening your browser and going to laulima.hawaii.edu. You will be able to log in using your UH ID and password. The first thing you will see is an area called My Workspace. In this section, you will notice the Laulima message of the day. These are bits of information from the system that will alert you to upcoming changes and news for the system. This toolbar along the left side will allow you to tailor things within My Workspace. Along the right side, you'll notice announcements. These messages are a combination of announcements from all of your class sites all in one place. Below it is the calendar. If your instructor is using the schedule tool, then events will pop up on this calendar. This last area contains the message and forum updates. These are updates that have been added from your different class sites. Now let's go up to the top of the screen. Notice these tabs. These are the different sites of which I am a member. I'm looking for Art 112, but I don't see it here. Sometimes you may not be able to find the class that you're looking for, and if that happens, you have to check your preferences. So first go up to More Sites, and then click on Preferences. Notice the two separate columns. These are all the sites of which you have membership. Some are visible and some are hidden. If you're missing a class, check through the Hidden Sites column. When you find it, click on it and then click on the left arrow to move it to the active sites. In active sites, you can decide the number of tabs that you want to see on your Laulima page. You can also decide the order by first selecting the site and then selecting the arrows to change the order of the sites. When you have made all the necessary changes, be sure to update your preferences. So now, let's check out the class site. This is Art 112's homepage. Notice that the setup is similar to My Workspace. You have your toolbar on the left. You'll also notice announcements and a calendar. Since you are currently in the Art 112 class, these things only apply to this class. So depending on what your instructor chooses to include in the site, the details of your site may look different. One of the first things you might want to investigate for a new class would probably be the syllabus. So click on the Syllabus tool. Most syllabi will give you an overview of the class. It might also include a class schedule for the semester or other information like grading policies, contact information, and just general info. Depending on how your instructor has uploaded this document, you may also have the option to print or save a version for your own use. Next, let's review the schedule tool. Your instructor may decide to use the schedule tool to make class meetings and events visible. You can also choose to view the calendar in a few different ways, including by month, by week, by year, or even list of events. The calendar tool also provides a printable version for you to keep yourself organized. Remember that when you see this tool in your class site, you will only see information for that specific class. However, if you view the schedule within My Workspace, you will be able to see events from all of your sites at the same time. The Modules tool is generally used by instructors to post class information. This may include class readings, links to videos, and even lectures. Modules are usually arranged in the order in which the instructor would like you to proceed. You can use the navigational tabs at the top of the page to move backwards or forwards through the module, and even navigate back to the table of contents. The bookmark function will allow you to keep notes as you move through the module. You can add reminders about where to pick up from your last visit, or even questions that you may have had while completing the module. Be sure to note when your module opens and closes so that you can allot enough time to complete each section. The Resources tool is a place for instructors to store information for your course. For example, this instructor has separate folders for things like assignments, handouts, and even inspirational links. With this tool, instructors can link PDFs, videos, or even other websites for your access. The Discussion and Private Messages tool allows the instructor to create separate spaces for you to interact with your professor and other students in the class. This professor has dedicated a space for you to ask questions in the instructor's office room. Notice the module discussion section has separate spaces for each module. The Module 1 discussion asks students to introduce themselves and add an inspirational image. The replies to these questions will be visible to all members of the class. To add a response, you will click on Reply Post. Then you will use the text box to add your answer and contribute to the discussion. You also have the option to click on Quote, which will copy the discussion into your response. This might be helpful if you have to answer specific questions in your response. When you finish, you will click on Post to add your contribution. This tool is used for assignments. Instructors will post assignments in this tool for you to complete. You will first click on the tool and then you will be able to see the assignments in this tool. It may be helpful to make note of when the assignment opens and when the assignment is due. If you do not access the assignment during this period, you will not be able to access it. In this case, a text response is required. After you have completed the assignment, you will be able to submit it and then get the following response that indicates that your submission was successful. This tool is used for assessments. The difference is that with this tool, instructors are allowed to create and administer assignments, tests, and surveys. When you enter this tool, you will be able to see the title, the status of your progress, when the assignment was opened, and when it's due. You will be able to see if there's a time limit, the number of tries you've made, the number that you are allowed, when you started it, finished it, and the end score. This example is a multiple choice and fill-in-the-blank assessment. After you have chosen your answers and filled in the blanks, you can go down to the bottom and select Finish. Once you confirm, your test will be submitted and you'll be able to review. When you return to the assessments page, you'll notice that your score has been added in, as well as a link for review. Using this tool is similar to using the Assignments, Tests, and Surveys tool. You will see the title of your assessment, the time limit, as well as the due date. In the section below, you will notice a space for assessments you've already taken. You will be able to see your scores, any feedback, and information about your test and the date it was submitted. When you click on the assessment, you'll see the information about your assessment. Be sure to read through these instructions carefully since it may contain information like test time limits. When you've finished the assessment, you'll click on Submit for grading. Your test-taking information will be stored in the app, and your instructor will be able to handle your score information. The Gradebook is the tool that you and your instructor will use to keep track of your grades. At the top, you'll notice the course grade. As you scroll down, you will see that the gradebook is organized according to the assignments. You will notice that the due date and the grades are presented. Some professors may leave comments while others may choose to communicate via other methods. Only you and your instructor will be able to see and manage your grades. The Dropbox tool is a place where you can store your own files on the Laulima class site. Within this tool, you can create a folder and upload files into the folder. You would do so by clicking on Add and then Upload Files, then you choose your files. After you have uploaded a file, you and your instructor will be able to access it on the Laulima class site. The Mail tool is a tool that will allow you to send mail to members of your class via UH Mail. One advantage to having this tool in Laulima is that it will allow you to send mail to classmates and your instructor without having to know email addresses. You can compose messages in this tool and send them via the tool. The messages will arrive in the recipient's hawaii.edu inbox, and they will be able to respond back to your hawaii.edu address. We here at UH West Oahu's Distance Education Department hope that this has been a helpful introduction to some of the popular tools in the Laulima course management system. If you have any questions about specific tools in your course site, check first with your instructor. Then if you are still unsure, please send us an email at UHWO.de@hawaii.edu. Have a great semester.